Nathan interview 131. My name is Nathan Burney and I graduated Sydney Film School in 2022.
What was your favourite class?
My favourite class, well, that's tough because there's a few because I love filmmaking as a whole. But if I had to pick one, I'd probably say cinematography, but directing and writing are also right up there as well. It was prac 95% of the time, because that's how you learn at the end of the day. It's all hands-on, and the course, it's very hands-on, it's very practical.
How was the directing class done?
Well, I remember on the first day, we sat around in a circle. Each person had to say something about themselves, and then the next person had to repeat what the person before them said, and that went all the way around, and then the person at the end had to repeat something that every single person, and there were like 30 people in the class, had to repeat something that every single person said in the circle. And I feel like that, as an entrance, was really good because you got to learn all these things about, you know, your classmates straight away, and it's forming that bond. But also it's good in the eyes of a director because you're seeing all these different people and what they do and who they are, and also remembering something about everyone. Yeah, I'll never forget it because I remember I was right at the front, so I just had to do me and I didn't have to do the whole circle. If you want me to get into the writing, the structure. So basically it started, we would just analyze all these different scripts, and then we would get into developing our own characters and our own little storylines, and we would team up with another peer and we'd go and we'd develop this story in like 2 minutes or so, and then we'd have to come back and pitch it to the class, which is, you know, it's a very nerve-wracking thing to do on the first day, but I feel like it's also really good because it puts you in that position. Like, that's what you need to do in film. You have to be able to pitch on the spot. You got to seize every opportunity, you know. That was on our first day as well, so that was a really good exercise.
Were there many people in your class who had professional experience?
Everyone was new, yeah. No one in my group had worked in the industry at all. Like, we were all kind of in the same boat. Like, some were just finishing high school and testing the waters, and others were a bit older like me and like wanted to just give this thing a real crack because that's what they love doing. The first few months of the course were structured towards developing our scripts for our narrative film, and then we would go out, we'd be all by ourselves, and we would write, we'd shoot, and then we'd edit these films just by ourselves. The teachers would just give us the gear, give us free rein, and we'd go out and do our thing, you know, which was really good. And then we would edit them, and then we'd bring them back and we'd show everyone. It was all a great experience. We'd all sit together and watch our films and see, you know, what we did great, what we did wrong, and we'd break it down and analyze them and go from there, which really helped because then when we went into our festival films at the end of the course, we really had an understanding for all the aspects of film and what we needed to do to make a film great.
What were the tutors like? How did you find the tutors while you were here?
I thought the tutors were really professional. Well, they've worked in the industry, right? So they've got this first-hand experience, and they know what they're talking about. They would also spend lots of one-on-one time with us, and like after school hours, if we had a question or something we needed help with, they would take time out of their own lives to sit with us and help us. And wanting to be a filmmaker, it's a tough thing, and you need all the help you can get.
Was it a lot of like going out and shooting things? And
yes, yeah. I think we shot our festival films over a period of 3 weeks, and I was out on set every single day for those 3 weeks. Yeah, so it's very hands-on, very practical.
What were some of the production roles that you would take on?
Some of the production roles, well, everything, really. My favorite was writing and directing my own film. So everyone writes a film, and then you have to be in a different crew role on every film. So you experience all of filmmaking as a whole. So for example, you might write and direct your own film, but then on your classmate's film, you have to be the soundie. On your other classmate's film, you're the DOP. On your other classmate's film, you're the gaffer. So if you choose to come to SFS and you're not quite sure about what you want to do, don't worry, because you're going to get to do every single role there is in the film industry. So while you're here, you'll definitely learn about the hierarchy on set, and don't get me wrong, there is a hierarchy on set. So you'll do every role from producer, director, first AD, and then all the other HODs like DOP, gaffer, grip, sound. You'll experience all those roles, and the list that I just listed off is the hierarchy on set. It's not just about filmmaking and about being creative. You learn a lot of filmmaking is logistical, and that's something that you'll really learn here. Because I remember when I started, I was like, oh yeah, pick up a camera and make a film. But no, there is so much that goes into making a film that you do not even think about. And that's something you'll learn about here. And also, making a film costs a lot of money. And that's another thing you'll learn about. As you'll get to be in the producer role, you'll manage the budget, you'll manage the locations, and you'll just manage the entire crew.
Talk to me a bit about your festival film, because yours was the one where you like put all that water in the
Yeah.
sunset, right?
Yeah. So, yeah. So what I've learned over my time is film is a lot of research, and it's a lot of hard work, and it's a lot of sleepless nights to put in to get the result that you want at the end of the day. So with the flooding the soundstage, that was inspired by Stranger Things, where Eleven goes into the black void and she's walking and there's the reflection on the floor. So we jumped on YouTube and we had a look into how that was done, and it was a whole process that involved like rigging lights to the roof and building a big timber frame and lining it over and over with builder's plastic, which we did. I think we did a 10 by 10 meter pool in the soundstage or something. And then the last step was to chuck the hose in and fill it with water, which was not an easy thing to do. It took us 2 days to build, but the end result, it really paid off, and it looks, well, I think anyway, it looks incredible. It looks like Stranger Things.
Did you have like a business class as part of your course?
Yes, we did. Yeah, so we had a Scream business class, which we had a few times throughout the time I was here, and I particularly love that class because I have a small production company of my own. They're bringing industry professionals who ran their own production companies. Like they brought in Nick Bolton, who is the founder and managing director of 10 Alphas, and he showed us his film called Mate, which actually went to the Oscars, Australian film, which went to the Oscars. And just like seeing that and hearing his experience, and I spent some one-on-one time with him as well, because he was in the position where I wanted to be. So it was really great talking to him, and just the Scream business class in itself is just a great experience.
Let's talk about like since you've graduated.
Yes.
Where were you staying?
Today I was in my production office in Artarmon. So I'm currently production coordinating a series that I'm not allowed to talk about. When I graduated, I realized that you really got to hustle to get to where you want to be. It's just like any career, like you're not just going to finish uni and have a job. I tracked down every line producer's email I could find in New South Wales, and I sent them all an email just, with my CV. And I got 3 replies. They were all no, no, no. And I was getting a bit nervous. But 3 days later, one of them got back to me and said, offered me a job in the locations department. And I just jumped on it straight away because I didn't know anything about the locations department. I didn't know what that entails, but a job in the film industry is a job in the film industry, and it's a chance to go out and meet new people, make new friends, make very important connections to yourself and your career. Yeah, so I took it, and that was a year and a half ago now, and I haven't stopped working since. Once a job finishes, once production's finished, that job's finished, and then you have to hustle to find the next one, or you'll stay with your team and then they'll jump over to another production. The locations department, while it was good, it's not exactly what I wanted to do. While I was on my first job with the ABC, I got in touch with the AD's department, the assistant directing department, and I just spoke to them about, hey, I'm interested in this department. I became good friends with them, and then my next job, I got a job as a third AD, which was good because I got to learn something new. I got to try a different role, and yeah. So when I came to Sydney Film School. I didn't know anyone. You're out of your element. It's like starting school again, starting uni. You don't know anyone, but the connections you form are second to none. My closest friend is someone I met at Sydney Film School. And we, since we finished school, we've made award-winning films together. We just hang out together, and yeah, the relationships you form will be relationships you'll have for the rest of your life. With me, I have been making films since I was about 5 years old. My parents bought me a camera when I was really young, and I'd gather all the younger family together, and I would write something and I would get them to act it out, and I would spend all night editing it, and then I would show everyone the next day, and that's what I love doing, and that's just what I've always done, and that's just who I am as a person. So when I got to the age of 22 and I finished my uni degree in criminology, and I was kind of like, oh, what do I do now? Because I kind of fell out of the film as I got older. So I finished my degree, and then I kind of just felt like I really had to take a look inside myself and go back to my roots and what I actually enjoyed doing, because you want to live your life doing what you love. I thought, you know what, I'm going to go to film school, and I did, and I haven't looked back since, and I don't need to look back. Which is why I encourage also all of you out there tossing up whether you want to go to film school or not. If it's seriously what you love doing and you have a passion for it like none other, do it.